Alright guys, hello and welcome back to Let's Play Dwarf Fortress with me, Qualification. And it's been a while since the last episode and I've played quite a bit into the future of the game. But we just got our outpost liaison to come back to our fortress and we've met the requirements to be upgraded to a barony. And now I am deciding who the baron will be. So, I think it's pretty obvious who it should be. And that's going to be the first citizen of the fortress, Joseph E. Stalin, and he will be our recommendation for barony. So, uh, it's good to finally be part of the royalty of our empire, of our civilization, and our fortress is now one of the wealthiest, if not the wealthiest, parts of the civilization. So very soon we'll see not just becoming a barony, but we'll see every time the outpost liaison comes back, we'll see upgrades basically to account and then to or accounting and then uh, becoming a duchy, and then finally, hopefully, we can gain mountain home status and get the king to move to our fortress. Actually, I think we have a queen for our civilization. I'll have to check that in a second. But yeah, that is our recommendation. So, move on here. You can see I've obviously started the project to move and start getting lots of this area dug out. And again, it's a really huge project, so I've had a bunch of new miners sign on. And because we need a bunch of new picks, I've really started kicking our industry, our metal industry, into full gear. But while I was digging down, I've discovered several large deposits of gold, silver, and platinum all over the place. You can see there's gold nuggets here. I believe this area here is all silver, yes. And then there's horn silver over here, or that's native. But I mean, like, there's just tons and tons of precious metal sitting in this area, so we'll definitely gain a lot of that. And I've had the forge. The forge is pretty much constantly making coke, and I had made over like 130 maybe coke, but we burned through that pretty quickly, and we're now making coke again. For a while I was having them smelt bars, but now they're back to smelting coke. So here we go. We have the outpost liaisons now asking us what we want from him. The main thing that I want above all else is going to be flux stone. So let's see if I can't get some of that. Stone. And we're looking for things like marble. I think limestone is a flux stone. Go ahead and order up some of that. And this will allow us to make steel, because one thing I had forgotten is that in order to make pig iron and to make steel, you need a flux stone. And as far as I know, we have no flux stones in the entire fortress, so we're going to have to either trade for it or else dig deeper and hope to find it. So let's see if they've got any marble. And what this has, all the materials that the Empire has, that our civilization has, are going to be dependent on the fortresses that they've set up. So it doesn't look like any of the fortresses they have got marble in it, but I believe that limestone is a flux stone, so we'll go ahead and mark that. Also, I want steel bars, so let's scroll up to the bars, metal bars. I want as many, where is steel? Steel bars as we can get. As well, I would like platinum, bronze, brass, copper, nickel, gold, tin. We'll need that to combine with copper to make bronze. Aluminium or aluminum. Then sterling silver, black bronze, rose gold. Rose gold's pretty cool. And bismuth bronze. Okay, so I think that's good there. Also, we will be wanting lots and lots of battle axes and crossbows and training weapons. I could just make these out of wood, but we've got our wood industry pretty well developed at the moment. Then we'll need ammo as well. Don't need trap components. Don't need picks. Could always use breastplates, mail shirts, and leather armor. Okay, so that's probably good as far as the things that we want go. And those will be expensive, but we'll get them in the next one. And their traders are here, so we've got goods coming in. I don't know how much. It doesn't look like we've moved very many bins to the depot yet. In fact, we've only got just the 2 bins here. One of them very valuable, the other one not so valuable. But you can see there's people already, like 4 or 5 bins running up to the depot. So we'll let them stick that in there, and that's what she said. But more importantly, once those are available, we will begin trading and see what we can bargain for. Stuff that's happened since last we met. We had a new artifact, an incredibly valuable artifact, by the way. This is created by I'm not sure. Oh, I did name all of the people who asked to be named. Everybody, and there was like, I don't know, probably like 80 names, but everybody has a name now. So let's see who this is made by. This is a Limonite figurine of dwarves. All craft dwarf ships is of the highest quality. The item is a masterfully designed image of dwarves in Limonite by English Godenfeigted. I'm guessing that is a unnamed dwarf. The dwarves are laboring. The artwork relates to the foundation of Status Coffines by the Barricade of Liberties and the Road of Basins in some year. It is encrusted with tube agate and studded with rose gold and encircled with bands of onyx. The object menaces with spikes of limonite, rope reed fiber, aluminum, and willow. On the item is an image of Lancer Guile, the occult shafts, the limonite figurine of dwarves in donkey bone. So apparently, whoever made this was inspired by another fortress, the foundation of that fortress, and also a person in that fortress who created an artifact of that fortress named Lancer Guile, the occult shafts, which is another dwarven figurine. So this dwarven figurine is basically one dwarf standing around, and then inscribed on it is an image of a different dwarven figurine. So that's obviously a little bit odd. But then we have, look at the value on that. It's 104,400. That's ridiculous. That's like a fifth of our total fortress wealth. Let me just check real quick. Open up the stockpiles here. Yeah, that's almost 1/5 of our total created wealth is that one object. So obviously very valuable. And our exported wealth, it doesn't look very high yet, but it's going to be outpacing imported wealth very soon. Especially as we give more offerings. In fact, I gave away like 18,000 worth of offerings to the humans last time, and they were ecstatic with that. I also gave them a significant profit margin on the trade of like 400 dwarf bucks or something. But now that I've traded with these stingy bastards from Toulon Odom, which is our home civilization, I know that they only like things that they get a lot of money for. So let's go ahead and pick out everything we want, which is going to be all of this stuff probably. Oops. And they brought lots of metal bars because last time I ordered up lots of metal bars from them. So we'll have extra things to use in our stockpile. We did have a ban on the export of pig iron items from our mayor, but I don't think we have any pig iron items made. There might be some that we like bought from other traders, but I don't think that the dwarves will put those in with this stuff. So let's just go ahead and add up some finished good bins, see how much money we have to work with at the moment. And there's that small one. Here's one worth Morgoni. And these traders probably are going to want, because they rejected like $1,000 in profit last time, I'm going to try to give them more profit, a larger profit margin than they got last time. Ooh, that's a really, look at that trade bin. It's worth 2,300. And not very many things are even in here. It looks like most of it is rope reed fiber robes that I'm constantly making. And that's only 4 robes because our clothier is now, I believe, a legendary clothier. So look at that. 4 robes sell for 2,300. It's more valuable than an entire bin of legendary stone crafts. There's another one, 2,300. You can see just how much wealth we have. We've only marked out like 5 bins. And that's just like a fraction of the total bins we have in the fortress. I didn't even move that many there. So yeah, our industry in our fortress is very significant. We constantly have plenty of goods being made, and these goods are worth a lot of money. So we always get our fair share of wealth when it comes to the trading screen now. And oh, we're starting to get into the wood section. This is actually very cheap, so I'll probably buy all the wood as well. Pretty much, you could buy all of this wood for one small bin, because they only cost about like 4 dwarf bucks a piece. And I think that if we had a higher broker skill or appraiser skill or whatever it is, then they would only cost like 2 dwarf bucks a piece. Anything else we need? Copper harp, bronze drum, mini forge. I wonder what that is. Probably a toy for baby dwarves. Buy all these rum barrels. Look at that. Nice alcohol. Hedgehog blood. Never enough hedgehog blood to go around. Beer, ale, rum. Looks like they brought a lot of alcohol. And you know, I think I'm actually starting to outpace the profit margin they want. I think 1209 should be good. Nope. Okay, so we're going to have to cut back significantly. I'm going to give him a profit of like over 2000, I think, and that should make him happy. So we'll have to cut back on like all that. No, he doesn't want to trade that either. Okay, well we'll go cut out a little bit more. Cut out these aluminum bars. Look at that. You can get one aluminum bar stack only weighs 5 compared to one rose gold bar which weighs 38. It's very heavy material, as gold and lead as well. I wonder if there's any lead in here. Platinum's 42. Lead's 22. I guess it's not that heavy in comparison. But we'll get rid of that section there. 3100, that should be plenty. Really? This is crazy. How much money do you want? Honestly, this is not even reasonable. It's making 5,000 in profit. There. Now you're pleased. That's ridiculous. But the important thing is that we've always got plenty of other goods we can move to the depot. And I only really ever send crafts to the depot. We have plenty of non-crafts that we could always send as well. There we go. Mark those ones up for trade. And I'll try to buy out the rest of the caravan. Other than the artifacts, the main occurrences have been with the metal industry and obviously with the new delving into the main area of the fortress here. There have been a lot of people assigned to mining duty. They picked up picks from the steel industry. The smoothers have been coming down here and smoothing out all the walls around the edges so that when you go into a visualizer, it'll look nice instead of being all rough. And I have yet to look at this part of the fortress in 3D, but I did look at the main area of the fortress in 3D, and even being 1 floor tall looks pretty cool. So I imagine this will be pretty awesome. So you can just see how many miners we have now. There's probably like 8 or 9 people right there, but then they're always taking shifts because the digging location is so far from any kind of bedrooms. I might actually just set up a temporary dormitory around here. But then they'd also need food. I don't know. But yeah, pretty much the whole fortress just dedicated to completing this project right now. And once it's done, we can really start glorifying the fortress. And I'm not sure if someone knows about the game more than I do, because probably a lot of you do, if it's possible to do a updated version of the game without having to like remove my save, because I'd like to update to a newer version of the game so we can get some of the more cool aspects like the pottery industry, because we have tons of kaolinite. And I'd also like to be able to get like customized statues that reflect the dwarf surroundings instead of just having statues, because we make a lot of statues. No denying that. So if anyone knows the answer to that question, please inform me. It'll be much appreciated. Let's check our nobles, see if anyone has any Mets demands. Oh yeah, Distraction. Still haven't quite set up his chambers yet, because we really haven't had that much need of our Captain of the Guard. The only people who have been in trouble are the people that the mayor is angry at for not fulfilling his ridiculous demands. So it's a good thing that we don't have our justice system quite set up yet. And the jail is going to be down here anyways, so I can't really do much about it until this area is completed. We still have several floors to go, as you can see here. But, you know, we completed roughly a third, well no, more like a fourth of the total project, because when we dug the first floor, that was channeling out and mining on the same level. So that took care of 2 floors, and then this floor is taking out another floor, and that one another one, so that's like 4 floors. I don't know, but in any case we have to go down like 10 floors. So yeah, and then when I get down here, again, I don't know if I explained this before, but my main plan is to have the government sector here, the commons where all of the main stuff is here. Noble's Quarter is going to be over here, and there's also going to be a waterfall around there. And whoops. And the military district is going to be down this way. There's not enough room to do much with over on the right, on the east side of it. I've noticed there's a lot of really uniform stone patterns here. Like, the overwhelming majority of the stone so far has been dark stone, either like mica or granite or something, and only a few patches of stuff. And the stuff that it is like gold, so, or casterite, which is another iron ore. So you can see here, granite, gold, and casterite make up this little portion. So it's a very valuable floor there. And every time we go down another level and we uncover all these new materials and we start smoothing it out and making all these structures, we increase the wealth of our fortress in the architectural scale. So that's pretty cool as well. Always have a relatively high number of idlers, which is unfortunate, but I can't do much to avoid that other than conscription. And I have been making lots of weapons at the Metalsmith's Forge. I don't think I have any queued up right now because we had to start making coke again. But it's always good to have a good stockpile of weapons. In fact, let's just take a look at our stores and see what our weapon stockpile is. I'm not sure where they keep it. Oh, there it is, weapons. 52 weapons. We have 8 iron battle axes, 2 silver battle axes, 4 copper battle axes, bronze battle axe. Yeah, I'm probably going to be doing a mostly axe-based fortress. I prefer dwarves to use axes. They're incredibly deadly weapons, and the swords don't really, or short swords don't really suit dwarves as well as axes do. We've got a ton of picks. I could designate a lot more people for mining labor. I think I'll go do that in Dwarf Therapist here in a bit. We've also got a couple crossbows made. There's a training axe and some other training materials. Yeah, so we got plenty of weapons right now, but we haven't assigned any of them yet. Just sitting there idle military squads. Take a look at the tab map. We have on the first floor still a lot of designated material. Go down a floor, down another floor, down another floor. You can just see, relative to the size of the map, how big this just one main chamber is. And then we're also going to have additional wings here and then here and all that. So that's pretty cool. But let's go back up to the trade depot. I think we've moved all of the bins we need to the trade depot and finish trading with these guys. Ooh, that's a very valuable one. Look at that. 2,400 bucks. Dwarf bucks. And there's that, and another one. Seems like the most valuable ones are always going to be the ones with our legendary clothier being making stuff. But we also do have our craft dwarves, our legendary craft dwarves, making a pretty significant profit per bin. And if I really wanted to make money, I could start encrusting all of these, because we've now had You know, we've got like literally hundreds of gems, leftover gems that have been cut. Thanks to our legendary gem cutter, Jeff Major, but we really haven't been using those to do anything other than just to sit in big stockpiles. Like dragons, we sit on top of the wealth, but we don't really use it for any purpose. And wow, this is a lot of wealth right here. 20,000 wealth to give up. So we'll give them a profit of around, what they need, like 5,000. But we'll buy everything that we possibly can here. We may be able to buy all of this stuff and still have them get a significant profit. Ooh, I don't want those. Those are ropes. Water skin, drum, harp, puzzle box, cool. Dog cage. Oh, I killed pretty much all the animals, luckily. And there are only a few pets in the fortress. And as soon as one of the cats had pets, I immediately executed all of the kittens, so that we didn't have any problem there. And the dogs, I have been considering breeding so that I can. Oh, I don't need hedgehog blood. So that I can begin training them to be war dogs. Because it's always good to have companions when you go into battle. Take that crossbow. Ooh, a steel breastplate. Very valuable. Steel buckler. Apparently very good steel buckler. A buckler is a shield that you can put kind of like, instead of hold it with your hand, it's a shield that you equip around your arm by like sliding your arm through two rings. Sweet pod seeds, don't need that. Sugar bag, I've never heard of dwarven sugar. Sweet pods, rock nuts, red sand. I will be making glass pretty soon because I really want to get windows in the lower portion of the fortress. So we'll buy up all these cloth bins. Ooh, cave spider, giant cave spider, very valuable. And that'll give them a significant profit. Leather bins too, buy those up. And the reason for that is just so that our clothiers and our leather workers can have something to do. Not really because I'm that interested in maintaining an industry of those things, because while they are kind of important, they don't produce that many valuable goods for us. So, alright, that's pretty much everything they have. Trade that. He is ecstatic with the trading. Yeah, you should be. You got 5,000 in profit. Like a 25% profit margin there. What have we got going down here? Ooh, what's this purple stone? Never seen that. Bismuthinite. Cool. I guess that's how you get bismuth ore. I'm not exactly sure on that. And we do have a fundamental problem here, it looks like, in our design. I'm gonna have to modify that. Anything else? There's this section that should go like this. And it's always really annoying to try to make these channels work, because the way dwarves dig is that if they encounter another channel directly below that channel, they'll usually just dig that straight out instead of like doing the common sense thing and waiting until they finish a floor. Because sometimes if you'll go down like 3 or 4 levels in channel depth, then you're not going to have any way out. So dwarves will trap themselves below, which is stupid, but then dwarves aren't the most intelligent creatures. Wow, look at all those miners all working on that same patch there. So that'll be dismantled rather quickly. Nice thing about channeling is you can move like the equivalent of 2 floors at once. And once we complete the majority of the channeling on the first few floors, you'll notice like this entire area here will become kind of dark like this, and you'll still see this in the center, and you'll still see those pillars, but you won't see anything like this section here, because the depth between the surface, or not the surface, the roof, the ceiling, and the floor will be really, really immense. Designate more smoothing. So yeah, this takes up a lot of the time, just dealing with this project, but it'll definitely be worth it in the end. Go check on, let's just see our city status at the moment. We are a metropolis. I believe that's based on your population, not your wealth, but in any case, that means we have a massive, massive population. And it's true, I don't think I've ever had a fortress that has been remotely successful with this many people in it. And I mean, realistically, only 40 of them are idling. That means 100 of them are working. And if you got 100 people in your fortress working at once, you can accomplish a lot of stuff. I believe that the switch should now be fixed. Yep. So we can now begin flooding the baths. Oh, and I did consider putting in grates, but I realized that since I have all these floodgates on the outside and there are no fish on the inner areas, that there is not going to be any fish. Oh, there it goes. It's starting to flood. Ooh, that was rapid. Look how quickly that's going. It's already consumed this lower section here. I believe that's because of the immense pressure of water. You can see, like 3 floors of just... Ooh, that is very quickly escalating. So, how high is this water? 7 of 7. Okay, what I'm going to do is have the dwarves pull the levers. Both of them. One of them is to close the main pool from the water source. The other one closes off the actual floodgate to the aqueduct area. So there's that. This is incredible. Look how that's massive. The water pressure must have been absolutely immense for there to be this quick of a reaction. And I think it's even going to spill over just a little bit out of the pool there. Well, the good news is that this means that the area over here in the Nobles Quarter, because it had to go up like 5 floors, I was a bit concerned about the water actually being able to make that journey. But I think this means that it's pretty much guaranteed to work. And I think the pressure has finally kind of subsided in the water here. Doesn't look like it has any inclination to go above this height right here. And I'm also going to pull the lever on the aqueduct so that we don't have more water going down than we need. And that should be enough to guarantee that our area is not going to get flooded. Here comes a dwarf to come and pull that switch. And you can see the entire floor of this one, of the tank, has been completely emptied, as has this one. So 2 floors of water have been just almost instantly poured into this lower section here, and that water pressure was just absolutely ridiculous. So that was what really just led to the rapid expansion of water into these chambers. So now what I can do is I can set this area here as a water source, which will enable my dwarves to start bathing. W. There you go. Enjoy. And I will also designate this area as a water source. There. Now dwarves should be able to grab soap from over at the soap maker's workshop and bring it down to the um, the bathhouse and wash themselves, clean themselves. Which, number one, prevents the spread of disease. Number two, gives your dwarves happy thoughts, and number three, can prevent tracking in sort of non-aesthetically appealing resources like blood, because blood will track pretty much everywhere. But if they wash off the blood, then you're good to go. I think I did this right anyways. Let's see. Is that right? Well, there is someone coming down here. I don't know what for. Let's see. Cut onyx. Oh, he's collecting an onyx from over there in the corner. Alright. Well, that's fine. Huh. It might be that the water actually needs to be on the level that the water source is on. So I will do a water source on the level below as well. And we'll see if we have anyone. Look at all those people mining, digging channels. See if anyone is cleaning themselves. Give water. Alright, let's follow Chelsea. She's got a bucket on a mission. And I'm done with those traders. They're just gonna leave with all of my thousands and thousands of dwarf bucks worth of goods and leave me buying some metal bars, basically. That's fine. So Chelsea is going to the meeting hall, the dining hall, and standing on a table? Not entirely sure. Going back outside. Digging channel, no job, no job. A lot of no jobs. Conducting a meeting. That means our mayor is meeting with the outpost liaison. Rendering fat. Che Flagell is rendering fat. Give water. Well, don't know. Not sure about that. What I might have to do is turn the smaller, like hot tub sort of bathhouse portion into a well. By building a floor. Actually, hold on. What's a well? Well is L? Yes. I need a chain. So let's go to the metalsmith and order an iron chain. Other objects. Iron. No, is it in trap components? Iron. Furniture? Iron chain. There we are. Make me a chain. Suppose I could have made that much easier just by going to the jobs area, and in fact I'm going to make a couple of chains. So let's make a new order for iron chain. There we are. And we'll make 4 more. So do that. Now our manager, who is Elite Gamer, I believe. Yes. We'll go and validate that order. You can see sitting at his desk, he's like, this is acceptable, blah blah blah. And then he will return to meandering about the halls and inspecting people. And also engraving, because that is what he does. Yes, well. Wow, look at this. The water level, in order to fill up the main tank, well, because it was so depleted, the water level in the outermost section has actually decreased to 1 of 7. So you can see some of it's actually gone down to the floor tile. So it's obviously very, and you know, one cool thing about this is, since this water here has been like circulating around in this tiny little chamber for so long, if I open these gates, it's just gonna like blast out of that chamber and instantly fill up, well, use all of its few tiles worth of water to fill up this area here. So that'll be pretty cool when I need to do that. Someone organized a party at the dining hall, I'm guessing, because there's a siltstone table. Good for them. I don't really care about parties. Sure, it may distract the dwarves, but chances are they aren't really doing any work anyways. Oh, looks like we pretty much finished with the mining on this floor. Go ahead and smooth that section out. Oop, missed a spot over here. And we're now capable of, well, as soon as this section on the far right here completes, we will be capable of mining out, channeling out anyways, the next floor, which will be very good. So progress is slow, but it's steady. There's no doubting that. Let's see if anyone's managed to use that water yet. I'm curious. Attending party, forging iron chain, giving water. Zan apparently is running down to the miners area to give somebody who's working some water. Don't know who. But I believe we probably have an iron chain by now, so let's see if we can't put this well down. Oh, never mind. Still lack that iron chain. Looks like whoever is doing that job needs to hurry up. I would allow the main chamber to flood in again to fill it up, but it's wintertime and most of the river is frozen over, so the only way it would work is through this section down here. That process would be slow and I'd have to monitor it a lot closer, so not really interested in that. This is, I believe, what I am supposed to be, yeah, this is the stuff I ordered, so what they're going to sell to me. Which means that all the stuff I ordered, since I'll put it on masterful priority, so they'd bring lots of it, is also going to cost more. That's fine. We're never going to have to worry about money troubles, as it were. And I would like to start printing gold coins soon. It won't really serve any purpose, because the economy's not enabled, the dwarven economy. But golden coins seems like a good idea. Have them stored in a vault in the lower levels, probably on maybe like a basement of the brokers, the trade depot brokers area. Let's discuss what we are willing to offer for your craftsdwarfship. So this is what they want from me, if I'm not mistaken. Which I very well could be. And just as a design oversight of mine, I did not connect those. But it makes more sense for them to be connected. Allows faster transit between the complex. I don't really ever worry about traffic or burrows or any of that stuff. But I'll probably have to do a couple of those whenever we start getting into the lower levels because of all the the different building heights and the different jobs that need to be performed at that height, like smoothing down parts of it or channeling out only portions of stuff instead of doing mass groups like we currently are. And I've been neglecting my responsibilities. So I gotta smooth out. Oop, never mind, that's not at all what I want to smooth out. This area here is not the real wall. I thought I hit X. There we go. The real wall is back here. There we go. That'll give my smoothers and engravers plenty of stuff to do. I think my glass makers, and I've probably got like 10 of them, have never left the dining room or their bedroom since they arrived. They probably like spend all day in here, and then they move across the hall at night to sleep in the common dormitories in the hospital. Let's examine one of the common dwarves to see what their mood and their mindset are. Pick someone with a name. Alright, Karakoram, let's check you. Happy lately. Ate a pretty decent meal lately. Dined in a fantastic dining room lately. Slept uneasily due to noise lately because of all the massive construction going on the floors below. Slept in a very good bedroom lately. Admired her own fine bed lately. Admired a fine table lately. Has been satisfied at work lately. So it looks like, just judging by that one account, that the fortress appears to be pretty happy. Probably like a 85 out of 100 scale. The appearance of somebody that is 87 years old and is one of the first of her kind. So Karakoram is apparently a really, really old lady dwarf. Dwarfette. I don't know if that's the proper term. Fertile imagination, straightforward with others, doesn't like compromise, laughs in a unique way whenever she is annoyed. That's interesting. When greeting others, always smiles nervously and needs alcohol to get through the working day. I don't think I've ever seen a dwarf that does not need alcohol to get through the working day. Let's see. Ooh, those are the caravan guards, I think, because they're listed as axe dwarves. Pineapple Joe, let's check your mindset. And yep, you've got modest quarters. That means all you've got is a bed, but you do have a room, so there's goodness in that. Happy lately, slept uneasily due to noise lately, slept in a very good bedroom recently, dined in a fantastic dining room, admired a fine door, admired own fine bed, and has been satisfied at work. Very muscular, sideburns are clean shaven, long mustache is neatly combed. Very long beard is braided, and that's quite dwarvenly of you. Very strong and quick to heal. That seems like a pretty good warrior dwarf. I'll have to remember Pineapple Joe. Who else we got? This is Matthew Chris. Happy lately. Dined in a fantastic dining room. Slept uneasily due to noise. Very good bedroom. Admired a fine door. Gave somebody water. Nauseated by the sun. Satisfied at work. So, yeah, people are starting to get cave adaptation. That means that whenever they go outside, they're like, what do they call it? It's not like an agoraphobe, but it's like somebody who's afraid of the sun. I guess it'd be like solar phobe. I don't know. In any case, they don't like the sun. So, but in order to fetch water, for whatever reason they feel the need to, they have to go outside to the sun. Some of our dwarves who constantly go outside, like our mayor, who's a fisher dwarf, and I believe he's our only fisher dwarf. And I don't get why he does what he does, because literally he'll just like fish like 100 different fish, and he'll just leave them to rot on the shore. He won't go bring them in to the fishery or anything. He'll just let them all rot on the surface. So I guess maybe he's feeding the mountain goats or something. I don't know. Our mayor's a strange character indeed. Let's take a look at this dwarf who's got a bucket. That is our legendary bucket, actually, right there. Ugenagogodub. Yeah, one of our first legendary artifacts. Xanagan. Like to see our Baron find out. Oh, they're not listed as a. I guess I'd have to go to the unit list and look through there. Baron. Look for a purple name. Purple, purple, purple. Broker, medical dwarf. Yeah, all the nobles are going to be listed as purple in here. Mayor. Some of them are bloodline nobles. That means they're married to a actual, real bit of royalty, or they're actually related to an administrative dwarf. Bookkeeper, trader, surgeons. Ooh, look at these. Two bloodline nobles are both surgeons. Interesting. Architect, doctor, bone doctor, blah blah blah. I don't know. I didn't see anywhere in here Stalin. So. Oh, right. Yeah, I think actually what has to happen is the outpost liaison has to go report it back to the mountain homes. So we won't become a barony until we actually have that happen. So once these traders leave, and I believe as soon as they get out of the map, then we will be bestowed with our baron, which will be cool. And I think our mayor is going to have to move into this, what was originally going to be our Craft Dwarves Union bedroom, because our baron is the more important figure. Our mayor is a mere democratically elected official. He's no royal bloodline. Looks like the water up here is actually starting to evaporate as well, not just leak down. That's fine. I'll be able to fill it up once spring hits and this river thaws out again. I don't think we've ever had to worry about food since the new farms have come up, just because of how massive they are. We certainly don't have very much variety in our food. Most of it's plump helmets. Like 99% of our food's plump helmets. Everything else we trade for pretty much, unless we actually have some pigtail seeds left over, in which case we'll have a little bit of that kind of liquor. And I don't think you can eat pigtails raw, but you can make them into a drink, so that's what our dwarves do with it. Almost finished digging out this layer. Almost. And you can see things are really starting to come together. This is going to be one of the upper floors, but not the top floor. This is the very, very top floor. This is kind of like the skyline. This is right next to the clouds, but not touching it, and not touching the ceiling. And then you go down. Obviously, it's going to be higher and higher and higher. Nice thing is, as you get lower, less and less has to be channeled out. So that's a positive. It's just going to be more of a hassle to actually manage, though, unfortunately. And, let's see. Anything happening? Somebody became a miner. Yeah. Had quite a few of those pop up because people are constantly channeling out dirt from the new area. But we certainly could do with more miners. Actually, let me pull up Dwarf Therapist by going to the Lazy New Pack. There we go. You may have noticed on the Dwarf or Lazy New Pack graphical user interface that I had disabled temperature and weather for the time being. The reason for that is because I just wanted the FPS to be a little bit smoother, because I don't know if I really did have any FPS problems, because I don't think I really noticed any, but just in case, I want to make sure the game is running very smoothly for recording. You can see here on the far left again, the general mood of our fortress is extremely good, except for these like 3 waves here. These are all babies. They can't like have different moods. As far as I know, babies are always content. But yeah. Also, any wave with one person is generally a baby. So we do have quite a few babies. But yeah. You can see where the last name ends here. It's basically in wave 6. That's how many names we've had, is up to wave 6. Which means we've only had like, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 names so far. But after that, everything is open territory. So we still have a lot of dwarves that need to be named. So if you're interested, just post a comment in my profile, or on the forums at josephestalin.com. And I think I'll put an annotation in with like a link to the forum so you can click on it and go there. But yeah, let's go ahead and add up some more miners. these guys. I don't think any of them have particularly important skills. What's this? Lime maker. We already have lime maker, and this guy is a wood crafter. Yeah, I don't actually have any wood crafting set up. So there we go. That will make us several new miners. Now you'll see plenty of people running to go collect pickaxes from the forge. People should be streaming down here. And then once they've done that, they will head down to the channeling chamber and begin doing work here. And we finally finished channeling out everything for this floor that I can think of. So I will show you what it's like to deal with one floor here. First off, go to the designation key, you hit D for that. Go ahead and select your channel, drag it all the way across, and just make sure it matches up with the floor below. Hit the button. Then we have to undesignate all of the structures that we want to be made, which means the buildings, the columns, and also the edges, because we want to, or at least a little bit of the edges, because we want our dwarves to be able to exit the chamber without having to use staircases, because I have not implemented the staircase down yet, because there's no need to put staircases on this part of the area, because it's not going to be accessible. It's like going to be floating unless you're inside a building. So yeah, go around here and undesignate all this stuff too inside of that building. Then we go over here to the columns, and what I'm going to do is just kind of be lazy and draw lines. Normally I would go in and actually designate the entire row of columns just by individually selecting it, but for the purposes of the video, because that would be extra time consuming and boring, I'm just going to draw lines to make it more expedient. Alright, and then we want the center parts of the apartment complexes to be untouched as well. And we want to I gotta hit the pause button. We want to remove these designations right here, because that is the pathway into and out of the chamber so far. And I believe there's parts of the wall that still need to be smooth. So what I'll do next is go to the edge here of the wall, go from the part that needs to be smoothed downwards, and leave that part of the wall alone so the dwarves can still get up there. Then I think that's all that needs to be smoothed out on this floor. Pretty sure. Of course, the columns still need to be smoothed, and I'll get to that job eventually. But the next step is to leave alone this portion. So what I'll do is undesignate that section there just by setting the size from the floor below and then going up a level and setting it up. And then the critical feature here is that after I've made sure all the structures have been designated on this floor that need to be left alone and not carved out of the rock, I will have to go to the top left here and grab this corner with the remove designation, go all the way down here, and plop. That whole thing needs to be kicked out, because what would happen is if that designation were still there, all of that channeling stuff, like right here, if you go up a floor, they'll channel out this section, and then they'd go down, and they'd see, oh look, another channel, and they keep going down, and they keep going down, and that would be very bad. So we just want them to handle one floor at a time. I believe that's adequate designation for this floor. Let them go, and you'll notice what they'll do is they'll take the first order job and they'll go straight to the top left corner. You can see they've already set up all these ones. And they will run over there and start carving that out. Apparently I still need to remove part of this, because there was a random ramp that goes to nowhere right there. The miner can't clean himself because the area is inaccessible. Huh. I think I underestimated the water pressure of what I had pent up in the water tank, like rather severely, and I did not expect it to get the height of the water in these areas up to 7 of 7. I was planning only to have it down to like 3 of 7 or 4 of 7, because dwarves can still stand in that water, and having them stand in that water would give them swimming skill as well. They'd be able to clean themselves, but I don't think they can clean themselves without doing that. That reminds me, we can now build a well, so let's do that. But we're going to need to first floor over the central portion, or everything but the central portion of the pool here. Oh, I always do that. Whenever you go to designate a floor, you go to the construction menu, and it's got all the constructions in there, including walls. And the default one is wall, so when I hit enter to designate a floor, I almost always accidentally hit double enter, and that creates the wall segment, which has plagued my constructions for quite a while. So once this is completed, then we will be able to put wells all along the edges there. And we'll have 4 wells, and that will allow our dwarves to get water. And because these zones here clearly don't work, I'm going to remove these activity zones, because I did not understand the water source activity zone, how it works. But now I think it'll work out pretty simply. So our masons, what people have been designated as masons, not our probably legitimate masons, but people that have been designated as masons for the purpose of construction, they'll head over there and do that. And if I really wanted to be optimal with my fortress layout, I could tell people that only the legendary people can use these workshops, but, you know, that's a lot of work. So instead what we see a lot is people like Elite Gamer, our manager, randomly come up and use the Mason's Workshop, because pretty much anybody can use masonry. Because I've had to designate it to a lot of people, because that's how you get constructions done. But they'll come up and use the Stonemason's Workshop, and then our legendary Stonemasons will be out like hauling dirt or something. So that's always been a problem. But if I really wanted to fix it, it wouldn't be that hard. Okay, this apparently have finally finalized what they want from us. They want splints, that'd be adequate, easy to provide. They want toys, again, easy to provide. Leg wear, it's a bit harder. And what's this? Ammunition? Well, I believe I ordered ammunition from them, so no, it's not going to happen. And you can see masons coming in here. They will probably just use the siltstone that's laying around the edges of the water there. And there you go. One piece is already done. I was kind of concerned about whether or not this floor tile would be able to like float on the water level, because that's what it's currently doing. It's just kind of floating there, but I guess it's fine. I've had bad experiences with... Oh, our manager just reported that our forging has been completed. Okay, thank you. But yeah, there's the floor tile be completed. But in the past, I've had some bad incidents with cave-ins as a result of floor tiles not being adequately supported, which led to the death of several miners in my old fortresses. Look at this, look how much gold is in this layer. This is all gold. All this like different stuff on the wall here that looks yellow, that's all gold. This part isn't. This is orthoclase, which is just a yellow stone. But this darker colored area is all gold. And there's pitch blende. I don't know what pitch blende is for, but it's purple, so it looks pretty cool. But man, there's a lot of gold in this area. I think the episode's probably running pretty long at this point. And I kind of been rambling for some time, just showcasing the events of the fortresses that happen. Which is probably not the best way to do this Let's Play, but I'm kind of lazy. So I think I'm going to cut it here. You've seen kind of what I've been up to. You've seen that, again, the main project consumes most of my time and effort, is channeling out, making sure all this is done in the right order, smoothing it down in the right order, doing all that stuff, and then also making sure that we have the industry to support our dwarves, mainly in the form of the metal industry, also sometimes in crafting though, and that has been kind of critical to the fortress. But the last thing I'll do is, once they finish these floor tiles, I will build out these wells and end the episode, I think. Oh, and next time I'm considering adding in some music of my own, since the Dwarf Fortress music is kind of extremely repetitive. I think I will probably be using some music from different games that I think fits this game pretty well. So yeah, I'll probably do that next time. Let's put a cedar bucket with lots of skill. Ooh, wells cost a lot of stuff to make, but that's okay. Large bucket, iron chain, bauxite mechanism, and siltstone block, large bucket, iron chain, bauxite mechanism, and again. Okay, so they will build these wells, and that will be the episode. These traders ready to leave yet? Really like to become my barony. Oh wait. Yeah, it appears they left for wherever they're going. Yep, there they are. They're carrying all their crap out now. Look at that. On the donkey here, this thing's probably carrying like 500 bins and like 30,000 wealth worth of stuff on its back. So hopefully they are amply protected by those axe dwarves. Oh, right, I forgot to tell you about what happened on the surface. You can see here, I have finally gone about designating, well, not designating, but setting up a barracks. This will be our gatehouse. This lever here pulls up the inner bridge. The outer bridge can be raised by a lever that's inside the fortress, inside the meeting hall, actually. This one right here. But this means that if the situation is dire and the enemy is let in, then our military will be able to come out and fight the enemy in our courtyard, as opposed to fighting it deeper into our fortress. But as time goes on, the entire upper floor where we've been living and working for all this time, this will become a death trap filled with all kinds of devious devices meant to decapitate, delimb, I guess the better word would be mutilate, and generally just kill our enemies. And I'll be getting to work on those once we can move down into the safer abode of the deep caverns right here. But yeah, that's definitely on the agenda. So, I think these wells are not going to be complete for some time due to the need of an architect to build them. So instead of waiting for those wells to be complete, I will instead just end the episode here, I think. Oh man, they better hurry because that river's going to unfreeze, and if they walk across that and it unfreezes, they're going to die, which is not good. Oh, wait, one more thing before I go. I know I've said this quite a bit, but check the civilization screen. The reason that goblins have not attacked me, kobolds don't really care, but that's because my civilization's at peace with the goblin civilization. They have not even bothered with raids. Same with the elves and the humans. Elves, I think I might end up declaring war on, instead of letting my civilization do it. Goblins, not so much. I'm not a big fan of getting sieged by goblins. They are rather vicious opponents. Elves, on the other hand, are wimpy, girly, pansy, half men, so they will easily fall to our blades, our axes. So yeah. Once they get across that river, come on, you can do it. Step off the river before it unfreezes and you die. There you go. Okay. Time to end the episode. Bye bye, everyone.